Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our November the 24th fiscal court meeting. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Madison County Fiscal Court will be video conferencing the fiscal court meeting live on the Madison County, Kentucky Facebook page and local Spectrum TV channel 377 in compliance with the Office of the Attorney General's opinion 20-05. At this time, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk Barger, if you will, please call the roll.
Master Combs, Master Barger, Master Tudor,
Here.
Master Botkin,
Present.
Judge Taylor.
Here. At this time, we have a special guest with us today, the upcoming 91st District State Representative. I think your term will start in January. I'm going to invite you to lead us in a word of prayer today. Bill, before you get started, we got to get you unmuted.
Here we go. So
There you go. You've muted again somehow.
is that okay?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Sorry about that. Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you today, God, for this time of fellowship. And I thank you for our judge and our magistrates, God, over this county, Lord, that's going to impact so many people's lives. And Lord, I ask you to just lead, guide, and direct them in every decision that they would make. Lord, you said acknowledge you in all our ways, Lord, that you would direct our paths. And Lord, I ask you to direct us, Lord, even in conversation. And Father, I ask you to let your blessing be upon this council. Lord, that you would just be with them, God, and just, Lord, you know our state and our nation is in trouble in this time of need. And God, we call upon you. Lord, we acknowledge you, Lord, that you are a life giver today. And Lord, I just bless our judge today, and our magistrates, and all those that's on board today. And we thank you, and we ask all these things in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Bill. At this time, I'm going to Botkin to lead us in a pledge.
So stand, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America,
and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Tom. Next, we have our approval of our previous fiscal court meetings minutes. That was our November the 10th, 2020 fiscal court meeting. Y'all had a chance to look at those minutes. I need a motion and a second to approve, please. Roger? John Tudor?
Second that motion.
So I have a motion by Roger and a second by John. Excuse me. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Barger, Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Botkin,
yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thank you all. Next, we have our treasurer's report. We always give that at our fourth Tuesday, and today is our fourth Tuesday, and we have our treasurer, Glenna Baker. Glenna Smith.
Good
Sorry,
morning.
Glenna.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
Good morning.
Good morning. You have in the Dropbox, you have the financial report and the appropriation condition report and the revenue condition report. As of 10/31/2020, our total fund balance in all of our checkings is $5,801,490.93. In our general fund, our revenues are at 20.6%. Our expenditures are at 17.1%. Our road fund revenues are at 42.6%. Our expenditures are at 28.9%. Our jail fund revenues are at 41%. Our expenditures are at 22.4%. Our LGEA fund, our revenues are at 34.1%. Our expenditures are at 10.2%. CSEP fund, our revenues are at 1.1%. Our expenditures are at 1.3%. Our 911 fund, our revenues are at 28%. Our expenditures are at 19.9%. And our health fund, our revenues are at 17.9, our expenditures are at 10.4. Does anybody have any questions about the claims or the report?
Any questions at this time? Our health fund seems to continue to do pretty well, Glenna.
Yes, yes, it does. We're doing good on it.
Yep.
Hey, Glenna, is that on the LGEA fund? Is that 81,000? Was that a single claim?
Is this on the claims list? I mean, we don't have a claims list this time.
Oh, it's on the summary. It just shows that the total claims was $81,699. I was just curious, was that a single claim? Was that multiple?
No, that is multiple claims. That's from 7/1 until 10/31.
All right, thank you.
With multiple claims.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, thank you, Glenna. Appreciate it. Our first order of business today like I said a few minutes ago, is a special guest, Bill Wesley. He is the upcoming state representative for the 91st District. And he reached out last week and I asked if he could have a little time on the court meeting today to introduce himself to us here in Madison County. Not only us as fiscal court members, magistrates and myself, but we have our county clerk on here as well. We have our assistant county attorney, Brooke Bowman, all of our staff, and then all those that are watching. Typically we do sometimes have more elected officials with us today, or with us, but we don't today. So Bill, welcome. I really appreciate you reaching out and wanting to be a part of Madison County and to introduce yourself. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Judge. I just wanted to take a few moments and introduce myself and ask if there's anything that you guys would have me to start on right now for you. The 91st District is made up of 4 counties and a precinct, which is Waco, and I consider them as a county. A lot of times they've been left out previously, maybe that I've heard from other representatives because they're not as big, but I believe that they're just as much important than anybody else. And so I am over Estill, Lee, Owsley, Breathitt counties, and Waco. And so I have 5 counties that I'm dealing with. And right after this meeting, I'll be jumping on with Breathitt County. And what I'm doing right now before we are going into our session in January, starting January 5th, I'm trying to just reach out to all the counties that I've been getting ready to represent and see if there's anything that the magistrates and the county judge, mayors, councilmen, they can come together with lists and they can give me something that I can start working on for their districts or their counties. And so I just want to introduce myself, make myself available, and tell you that I'm here to serve with you guys.
Thank you so much, Bill. I really appreciate your willingness to come on today. Magistrates, do you all have any questions or comments this time?
I'd just like to say, Bill, I appreciate you joining us today and look forward to working with you in the future. This is your first term serving as representative, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Well, I'll let you know right now, it's kind of a ongoing learning process. You never get through learning something new every day. So don't feel left out from the beginning. Just jump in there and get your feet wet. And any way we can help you, we'll be glad to do it.
Appreciate that, John.
Bill, how would we get in touch with you if we needed to?
I'm going to give you guys an email address if you guys ever need to get a hold of me. It's Bill Wesley State Rep, and that's WESLEY, and that's yahoo.com. And I appreciate you guys allowing me to come on board with you today. There's so many needs out there. We're getting ready to face the budget, first part of our session. And as you guys know that we're taking on a task for our state, but I will do everything I can to help our district. The 91st is my responsibility. And not only that, but also stand for our state. And so we'll reach out to all of you in the future about laws we're getting ready to pass, and I want to ask your advice on some things. Because this ain't all about, it ain't about me. It's about, I'm standing for constituents in our district. And so I would just like to build a relationship with all of you, and in the future, try to see what we could do for Madison County.
Bill, every year that we've been in office, when the legislators get in session, there's always a group of us, the magistrates and the judge. We normally go to Frankfurt a couple of times, and we will come up and see you while you're there with concerns that we have. And when there's legislation that's being approved, we try to give you recommendations on things that we like, things that we don't like, and things we think you ought to support. And so we'll see you in January.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Bill, I look forward to working with you. I don't know if you know it, but I'm actually honored and excited to serve as president of CACO, Kentucky Association of Counties, and be very involved in the legislative process and the advocacy that we'll be doing not only for Madison County, but for the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We represent at CACO about 1,500 members of elected officials statewide. So we'll be very involved. And as Tom said, the magistrates and I are very involved with you all in Frankfurt, trying to not only better the Commonwealth, but better for counties. And so we look forward to the relationship that we'll build and try to get things done to better our citizens. So
yes,
God bless you, man. I appreciate you being on today.
Thank you, sir. God bless all of you.
Next is a resolution 20-120 Battlefield Golf Course fee schedule. And we have Gary Vanderhoff on today with us. Good morning, Gary. If you want to read the resolution.
Sure. Resolution 2120, a resolution for Madison County Fiscal Court to adopt an updated Battlefield Golf Course fee schedule. Whereas Madison County Fiscal Court desires to adopt the updated golf fee schedule, and whereas the last fee schedule change was in 2016, and whereas we offer an excellent product and service to our county while maintaining the lowest fee schedule in the area, and whereas the proposed rates will become effective January 1st, 2021, now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive to execute same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Gary. At this time, I need a motion, a second, to approve resolution 20-120. John Tudor.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 20-120.
Do I have a second? Tom Bakken.
I'll second that motion, Judge.
Thank you all. I have a motion, a second. Do we have any discussion? Tom?
Gary, do you have any rough guesses on what type of revenue that will generate?
I'm estimating right now at least $40,000 or more for the fiscal year. And just as a side note, as of right now, we're approximately 35,000 ahead of last fiscal year without the increase.
Good.
John Tudor, did you have something?
I did, Judge. Gary, I can't seem to find on my notes here what the new increases are. Could you share those with us?
Yeah, I'll share a few of them. For example, the cart fees right now, all of these figures include tax. Right now, the cart fees for 9 holes are $5.30. The proposed is going up to $6. Cart fees for 18 holes is currently $10.60. They'll be going up to $12. Senior rate right now for 18 holes with a cart is $21.20. That will be going up to $23.
He's froze up.
18 holes right now is $23.32. That will be going up to $27. And all of the seasonal passes will be raised $100 each.
Okay, thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
Any more discussion? All right, seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Buchan,
Yes.
Master Barger, Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thanks, Gary. Next, we have Resolution 20-121. This is FD 39 discretionary funds for Carver's Ferry Road. Let's see, there we go. We've got Willie coming on. Good morning, Willie. Hey, hit your mute button, Willie.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's good to see you. You want to read the, do you have the resolution in front of you, Willie?
Yes, sir.
If you will, please read it.
Resolution 20-121, a resolution adopting and approving the execution of a memorandum of agreement between the Madison County Fiscal Court and the Commonwealth of Kentucky Transportation Cabinet and the Department of Highways in the amount of $55,473 for slide repairs on Carver's Ferry Road, County Road number 1332 in Madison County. Whereas the fiscal court does hereby ratify and adopt all statements, representations, warranties, covenants, and agreements contained in said agreement, and does hereby accept the funds provided in the said agreement, and by such acceptance agrees to all the terms and conditions therein stated. And whereas the judge executive of the county is hereby authorized and directed to sign said agreement as set forth on behalf of the fiscal court of Madison County, and the fiscal court clerk of Madison County is hereby authorized and directed to certify thereto. Now therefore it be resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive to execute the same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Willie. Do I have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 20-121? Roger Barger. Roger Barger, so move. Got a first and a second. Tom Buchan.
Second, Judge.
Have a first and a second. Do we have any discussion? Roger? Roger, if you can, unmute. Or Colleen, if you could unmute him, please. There you go, Roger.
How about now?
We got you.
Okay. I just wanted to say that all of us has a lot of roads in our districts that has needs that we very seldom get answered, really, just because we have so many roads. But I appreciate the fact that we can get some money to help on this Carver's Ferry Road. There's quite a few houses on this road to be out in the country like it is, and it's well traveled. So I appreciate everything that they can do. Appreciate the state let us have this money.
Yeah, Roger, I'm very thankful for the relationship that we have with the State Transportation Cabinet, Secretary Gray. We really appreciate them helping us. We've gotten quite a few discretionary requests approved. Bobby Joe Lewis is our commissioner, is doing a wonderful job. So very thankful. Tom, were you going to say something? Did you have your hand up?
Yeah, Judge, I just want to know, had this repair already been made?
No. No, we can't make the repair prior to getting this done first. Now, we had some slide repairs on Stony Run that we had gotten approved back several meetings ago. And those are those are completed, I think, Willie, correct?
Yes, sir.
Mhm.
They're done.
The only reason why I questioned it at all, Judge, was simply because of the 11-page document that's attached to that contract between us and the state. I mean, it's pretty detailed in what you can spend and what you can't spend, so we need to watch our
Yeah, absolutely.
out there.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a standard agreement that we get with every one of these discretionary requests. Mhm. Yep. John, did you have something?
I just wanted to mention that this is discretionary money, that this is not a match, that it's not going to cost the county any match funds on this.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right. Thank
Yeah,
you.
Willie gets estimates on these type of projects that we have, and then we send the request in. And actually, I think we sent this request in, was it last?
June 19th,
Yeah.
of 2019.
Yeah, June of 2019. So we're glad that we got the funds. So any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none, I do have a first and a second to approve resolution 20-121. So no further discussion. Clerk Barger, please call the roll.
Master Buchan,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next, we have resolution 20-122. It's animal shelter fee schedule. And we have our very own Katie Tibbs on with us. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning.
Glad to have you. If you have the resolution in front of you?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you will go ahead and read it to the court, please.
Okay. Resolution 20-122, a resolution for Madison County Fiscal Court to adopt an updated Madison County Animal Shelter Fee Schedule. Whereas Madison County Fiscal Court desires to adopt the updated animal shelter fee schedule, and whereas the last fee schedule changes made were to include microchipping in the adoption fee and to provide a discounted adoption fee for Madison County Fiscal Court employees occurring in 2016 and 2017 respectively. And whereas the updated fee schedule is consistent with surrounding and similarly populated counties, and whereas the proposed rates will become effective January 1 of 2021. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive to execute same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Katie. This time, do I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 20-122? John Tudor?
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution 20-122, the animal shelter update schedule.
Thank you. Roger Barger?
I second that, Judge.
A first and a second. Do we have any discussion? Tom?
Just quickly, Judge, I was just curious about the claiming fees, why that there was no increase, and in one case of the third offense, there's actually a decrease in the proposed fee.
Sure. I believe that may have been a typo, so I just wanted to clarify it with the fee schedule. This was the fee schedule that was in our standard operating procedures, so I just wanted to clarify that. And we felt that no change was needed on the claiming fees.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Katie, how often does dogs get claimed? Is that quite often, or does that not happen very often? Or?
It doesn't happen as often as I would like them to. It's a small percentage. For instance, looking at the calendar year of 2019, only 97 dogs were reclaimed. We had 382 strays. So it's not a huge percentage, maybe about a third.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? Any other questions? John Tudor?
Katie, I just got a question about unclaimed dogs, are those dogs that don't have any kind of identification and nobody comes to say, I've got a missing dog or whatever?
So the strays would be considered the unclaimed. The 97 number that I gave are the ones that owners actually did step forward. So yes, the strays typically don't have the identification or any way to contact a potential owner.
What's the percentage of dogs that are picked up and brought in that have some kind of identification on them, either a chip or a tag or something?
I haven't calculated that, but I can look into that for you.
Okay, thanks, Katie.
Sure.
Anyone else? All right, seeing none, Clerk Barger, call the roll.
Master Barger, Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Buchan,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next, we have Resolution 20-123. This is a comprehensive plan update. And we do have Scott on here with us. Scott, I'm going to read the resolution, and then if any of the magistrates have any questions, that we'll appreciate you being on with us today, okay?
Absolutely, yes.
A resolution to approve an agreement for professional services for professional planning services for the Madison County Comprehensive Plan. Whereas the Madison County Fiscal Court and Taylor Seifker Williams Design Group LLC desire to enter into this agreement for a comprehensive plan update for the professional planning services for this project. And whereas TSWDG is prepared to provide the services described in Attachment A, scope of services according to Attachment B schedule in the amount of $40,800. And whereas funding for this service has been budgeted in the 2020-2021 Madison County budget. And whereas owners shall pay TSWDG, which owners the county, in accordance with Attachment C, compensation, and shall be responsible for all matters described in Attachment D, owner's responsibilities. And whereas this agreement may be terminated upon written notice at owner's convenience or by either party in the event of substantial failure by the other party to perform in accordance with the terms of this agreement. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve to enter into this agreement and authorizes the judge executive to execute same on behalf of the county. This time, do I have a motion and a second to approve Resolution 20-123? Tom Buchan?
Judge, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 20-123 for the professional services for the comprehensive plan.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Roger? So I have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions for Scott or myself? Tom Buchan?
Judge, I've just got a question down on page 10 of that document. That is where the attachment C is that you're talking about. Those tasks A through I, will we have to come back and approve each one of those individually at one time? And that's the first question. Second was, are those things that we asked for, or are those things that are just in a general type contract of that nature?
Yeah, those are just optional things. You know, there's a process to this comprehensive plan where you engage the community members, citizens, and you know, when you're trying to gather that information of what needs to be in your comprehensive plan, these additional things might be things that we would add later because it didn't maybe get the results or the participation that we might have needed. And so, you know, in the 40,800, they built in some of these things, right? But if we needed to take another step or try to gain other information, that we would have to bring that back as optional.
One at a time.
One at a time, or it might be that, yeah, I mean, there's probably different scenarios that could come up, but yes. We don't foresee that happening, but it's there as that option. Yeah. And Scott, if you've got anything to add to that, if I missed something.
I think, yeah, I'll just chiming in there, adding to that. I think when we worked through with Bert Thomas and others in the planning, we had a, if you will, a menu of some outreach activities. And as the judge mentioned, we included several of those in the main scope, but the list there, the tasks A through I, were some at the time that was like, depending on if the feedback is positive in terms of our return on survey information and other outreach methodologies that we've included, it was deemed perhaps we didn't need, some of those additional outreach, but we wanted to leave that in terms of if there was an option down the road that, oh yes, we do maybe want to add something. That was, if you will, the kind of the task to add that if so desired.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just curious. I mean, you can look at it and see if there's some of those things that you will obviously want to do, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, and I believe that we've, I don't know if Glenn is still on, but I believe we've got more than this amount in our budget. So we've got a little bit of cushion there if we do decide to come back and add some of these options.
Well, that's about $16,000 if we rolled all of it in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks, Tom. Good question. John Tudor.
Judge, I just like to ask Scott, this comprehensive plan is updated every, 5 years? Is that correct?
Typically, yes, correct.
And are we including the city with their plans into this, or is this just a county comprehensive plan?
This is just the county.
Yeah.
Okay. Will the numbers from the new census that comes in next year, will that be reflected in some of the plans that you're setting now, or that we'll have to wait 5 years before we include those new numbers of census numbers?
Typically, on a census year, it's about mid-year before you get preliminary numbers, and then the final, if you will, data counts and information is really typically not available until the fall, the following year. So I would anticipate that given this is an 8 to 10 month planning process that we've identified, that we'll have some, if you will, the preliminary updates that we can include. But the final numbers that would be, basically a year from now, we would probably not be able to include, but the variance is probably very marginal. So the preliminary kind of information that you get in sort of the mid-year is probably the numbers that we would be using.
Thank you.
And population and that sort of thing.
I would imagine with the COVID crisis going on, the census completion will probably be 6 months farther out than what we normally would see it.
Yeah, that could very well be a variable that is an unusual circumstance. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I'm very excited about this process and this plan. With the Boonesboro interchange being complete, to be able to grow our tax base with App Harvest, this is a very exciting time to be doing our comprehensive plan, because I can see really bright things in the future. And so it's really good to be able to sort of plan and sort of create that vision right out of the gate when we've gotten some of those things going for us. So it's a very exciting time, and you all be engaged as well in the process. So any other questions or comments? Anything else from you, Scott?
No, I think we're just our team is very excited to work with the county and to begin the conversations in terms of establishing that vision that you just articulated. So we look forward to beginning the process.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate you being on with us today.
Thank you.
At this time, Clerk Barger, if you will, call the roll.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Bakken,
Yes.
Master Barger, Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next, we have Resolution 20-124. This is the Treasurer's request to pre-approve claims and transfers. Glenna?
Yes, sir. Just to give you kind of an example of what this is like, it's like when we do the pre-approval of the claims at the end of the year. We just need to do it again this time. The resolution is 20-124. resolution for the Madison County Fiscal Court to approve the treasurer's request to pre-approve the claims and transfers. Whereas the Madison County Treasurer is requesting the pre-approval of claims and transfers through December 15th, 2020, which will be the next fiscal court meeting. And whereas the Madison County Treasurer will provide a detailed list of claims and transfers paid through December 15th, 2020. And whereas the auditor requires an action to be taken by the Madison County Fiscal Court to allow a change in the approval schedule. And whereas the change will positively impact the citizens of Madison County and vendors. Now therefore be it resolved that the fiscal court does hereby pre-approve the claims and transfers through December 15th, 2020, and authorizes the judge executive to execute same on behalf of the county.
Do I have a motion and a second to approve resolution 20-124? Tom Buck.
Motion to approve resolution 20-124, Judge.
Thanks, Tom. Roger.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? All right. Thanks, Glenna. Seeing none, call the roll. Clerk Barker.
Master Buchan,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next, we have resolution 20-125. This is a CSEP EOC sewer line replacement and bid award. Good morning, Dustin. Good to have you.
Morning, Judge. Good morning, everybody. Yes, resolution 20-125. A resolution approving the bid award to CKSM Incorporated Mechanical for EOC sewer line replacement. Whereas the Madison County Emergency Operations Center building requires repair to its sewer line, and whereas the Madison County CSEP program received one bid for repairs to the sewer line and replacement of the flooring that must be removed in order to repair the sewer line, and whereas the Madison County CSEP program wishes to award the bid to CKSM Incorporated Mechanical for sewer line replacement and installation of new floor, which is attached here to this resolution. Now therefore it be resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve the resolution and authorizes the judge executive to execute the same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Dustin. Do I have a motion and a second to approve 20-125? Roger.
So move.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? John Tudor?
Second the motion, Judge.
All right, we do have a motion and a second. So at this time we can have discussion. Roger?
Do we have a figure on that or estimate of what it's going to cost?
Yeah, I believe
It's 97,000.
Thank you, Judge. I was going to say right at 97. Yep. Yeah. So just for a little context for everybody, we've had this issue for a little while. Basically what it is one of the main sewer lines that runs through the first floor of the building. I don't know if it's just over time or what's happened, but it's settled, and it's basically now the elevation is not correct. So it's going, water's holding in the sewer line or flowing backwards to a point. And so we're going to have to rip up the floor, relay the sewer line. There was options to do where you could basically put a pipe inside of a pipe. I'm not a sewer expert, but a pipe inside of a pipe could have been done. But I think we actually have a greater problem with the fact that it's kind of settled and actually maybe going the wrong direction. So we wanted to do it right, do it once. That's why it takes a little more. We got to pull the floor up and stuff like that. But this should get us back to operation. We've actually bid this twice. We received no bids the first time, and we received this bid on this go around. So.
Did you receive any other bids, Dustin?
No, sir. This is the
one
only bid we received.
And let me ask you a question, because when we all first came into office, that we were doing, there was a renovation being done to that building.
Yes, sir.
Was any of the sewer lines at that time fixed or replaced, or was there any change to any of the bathrooms, or?
So there was no change to the bathrooms. They discovered an issue if you're familiar with the EOC, it's the hallway where the bathrooms is. Basically, there's a sewer line that runs right down that hallway and then out the side of the building. There's a T that comes out of the bathrooms That line experienced a similar issue during renovation. They found water in that line when the building hadn't had any water in it in like 8 months. So they did rip that short line out because it was doing the same thing. It was going the opposite direction and holding water. I'll be honest with you, Judge, my knowledge of the renovation was not what it is now due to change in position. So my knowledge is, I know this line was not replaced. This line was not touched. That I can confirm. I don't know if it was evaluated or if it was due to the renovation we had this issue arise. I don't know, Judge. I can't give you a good answer on that.
And I noticed they're going to be putting in cast iron as well. That was in their quote. And you're not going to know this, but you might ask this question of, are they using cast iron for a reason? I mean,
we can discuss that when we go to contract
versus PVC or.
Yeah, I can discuss that when we go to contract.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
you, Judge.
Any other questions, John Tudor?
Dustin, I just had a question or two about the flooring that's going to have to be torn out. Is that a concrete floor, and what's the length of it?
It's terrazzo. So it's try to give you a length, Magistrate Tudor. It's probably about I'm gonna probably say it's probably about 100 feet. That's an estimate. It's the length of the whole hallway. We could splice it, and I felt like that wouldn't look very good. So we've asked them to basically go from threshold to threshold, so that it's all new in that area and it looks, like one piece.
So the cost of putting the flooring back is probably as much or more expensive than the piping.
Absolutely, you're absolutely correct. Yes, we have as much in putting the flooring back down as we do in the actual issue.
I know you're not an expert in this field or anything. Is this estimate within range that you would expect something like this to be, or is it kind of a high end? It's pretty unreasonable to me.
So I'm not an expert in it. I know that we have support through FEMA with a consultant, Mission Critical Partners, and they feel like it's reasonable. But Magistrate Tudor, that's a little outside of my purview.
Yeah. Okay. Just sounded a little high to me, Dustin. But if you only have one bid, we have no other option. You've already had it turned down once before, no bids at all. So
one of the biggest things in projects like this is it's the unknowns. I noticed that this is a kind of a messy job. There's a lot of dust created from having to saw concrete up. The terrazzo is very dusty when you're trying to get it up. I noticed in their bid that they had said that if ducts needed to be cleaned and to get all the dust and stuff out of the building, that they would be doing it. So some of those things have, I'm sure, been included in their price, in their initial bid.
Yeah, I think like you said, Judge, there's a little bit of an unknown just because of the situation and what's going to arise under the floor. I think is, nobody knows what's exactly under the floor and what it looks like. So yeah, there's some of that as well.
And I don't know if anybody's ever cut concrete and done that kind of stuff indoors, but it is, it's very, very messy. So a lot of cleanup. All right. Any other questions? Tom, did you have anything?
Well, yeah, I had a concern when I looked over it simply about the cast iron pipe that you had mentioned earlier when they were putting that in. I'm not sure why we would put that back in the ground when we know we're having problems in other buildings that the county has for that same thing. And I was also curious about operations. Will you have to move to a different place while those renovations are going on?
No, sir. We'll close the front entrance and we'll just move, have people enter in through the back. Yep.
And I assume that if that's if dust, and as you have well noted there, Judge, concrete inside is going to be messy. How will that affect your computers, and is there a way to protect that equipment if you can?
Yeah, we'll be able to seal up the entryway into the actual emergency operations center room with those double doors there and keep a lot of that out.
And a lot of the
There's,
construction out there, internally is a lot of concrete block, Tom. And so that concrete block actually goes from the concrete floor all the way up to the roof or the ceiling, you know, of the next level's deck, you know, so they'll have to seal it all up good to keep it controlled. And then they do make some, you know, exhaust fans and stuff that they can put in there and run outside that, you know, sort of sucks that dust out as they're doing it out to the outside. And also, we still have the JIC there as well, so I'm sure, and we're sort of split up right now a little bit in teams over there. Some are working in the JIC due to COVID, just to keep everybody separated. Yeah. So.
Yes, sir.
So that, I do have one more question. That building, once it was accepted and we moved in, I guess what I'm trying to get at is there's no way to go back on the original builder on that.
Unfortunately, there's not. It was, it was, the situation was approved. Money wasn't spent with that. We're running into the same issue with an elevator that I'll be coming back to you probably in a few weeks with the project on the elevator and a contract hopefully with the elevator. But yeah, it was the best I can understand is they say they evaluated this pipe. There's nothing I don't think we can really go back to. We've tried with some others. I know the judge and I have tried with some other situations and it hasn't panned out.
All right, good. Thank you.
John Tudor.
Dustin, I was kind of like some of the others there, very concerned about the dust from the grinding and sawing of the concrete. It will have to be in a plastic or some kind of concealed work area to keep that dust from getting on your very expensive computers, because we take some dust on some of those, we'll have a lot of expense to those things. So we can't afford that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the good thing of, if there is a good thing, this area has 4 doors that can be completely closed, sealed off. It's its own area. So we can manage that pretty well. You know, I mean, this is unfortunate. It's a challenge that we're working through. And I know, the judge and I have worked through this, based on previous administrations, work with this project. Sometimes it's challenging and we just have to work through it the best we can. It's the cards we're dealt.
Thank you, Dustin.
You bet.
All right, thank you all. Great discussion. If there is no more discussion, call the roll, please.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Botkin, Judge Taylor.
Yes. Next, Resolution 20-126. This is the Fayette and Madison County Emergency Management MOA. Dustin?
You bet. All right. Resolution.
Welcome back.
Yes. Long time no see. Resolution 20-126. A resolution approving an MOA between Lexington Fayette Urban County Government and the County of Madison to aid in the resolution of public safety, health, and welfare of a community stricken by an emergency or disaster. Whereas both LFUCG and the County of Madison are both geographically vulnerable to a variety of emergencies and disasters, and whereas the parties to this agreement recognize the importance of having each local entity, which is a signator of this agreement, respond in a coordinated and efficient manner to restore the public safety, health, and welfare of a community stricken by an emergency or disaster, regardless of whether that community is located in Fayette or Madison County. And whereas Kentucky Revised Statute Chapter 65.220 authorizes local government units to cooperate with other localities on a basis of mutual advantage to provide services and facilities in a manner and pursuant to forms of government organizational that will accord best with geographic, economic, population, and other factors influencing the needs and development of local communities. And whereas the Kentucky Revised Statute 65-240 provides for any two or more public agencies may enter into agreements with one another for joint or cooperative action pursuant to the previous KRS 65.210 to 65.300. Appropriate action by ordinances, resolutions, and otherwise pursuant to law of the governing bodies of participating public agencies shall be necessary before any such agreement may enter into force. And whereas the parties of this agreement have chosen to become a party to this agreement and wish to provide mutual aid and assistance to other parties in time of emergency or disasters, which is attached here to this resolution. Now, therefore, it be resolved that the fiscal court does hereby approve this resolution and authorizes the judge executive to sign on behalf of the county, or same on behalf of the county.
Thank you, Dustin. Should I have a motion and a second for resolution 20-126? Tom Bakken.
Judge, motion to approve resolution 20-126.
John Tudor.
Second that motion, Judge.
I have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Have any questions for Dustin? Tom?
Hey, Judge, have we not in the past had agreements with Lexington Metro?
So
This is not a brand new agreement, is it?
to my knowledge, Tom, this is brand new from emergency management side of the house. We have agreements through some other situations. Lexington Fire Department is part of the Bluegrass Emergency Response Team, which we participate in. And we, at one time, the state had a statewide mutual aid agreement, which kind of covered this. That has changed. That agreement is not in place anymore. So we are working with a lot of our CSEP counties, not just because they're CSEP counties, but because they do surround us, to get agreements in place so that we can support them and they can support us in a time of need. Obviously, it's all based on whether resources are available in different situations. But we signed a similar agreement maybe 2 years ago, Judge, if I remember, with Garrett County. Yeah, we have not.
This is the first one. This is the first one I've ever remembered with Fayette County. Now,
yes.
Tom, we do have, with like UK, we've had, some agreements in the past with them on some of our stuff, but with Fayette County, this is the first. And to Dustin's point about our fire, when we had the mulch fire just several months ago, Lexington Southern Fire Station there, I think they came down and participated and helped us. So, you think back to that ice storm in 2010. I don't think Fayette County was really affected by that. And so that's a perfect example of when we need resources and we need help and power's out. I know a lot of people from Madison County, Richmond was going to Lexington to get hotel rooms, but because they were out. So I think these are the things that we are supposed to do as local governments, is work with each other and be there for one another in times of need. I really appreciate Mayor Gorton. She's a wonderful lady, a wonderful public servant, and really enjoyed getting to know her. So, Dustin, anything else?
Well,
Tom, go ahead.
Other questions?
I just wanted to say that I would commend Dustin for reaching out and getting these agreements set up, and like you said, not just with Fayette County, but with all of our bordering counties. You would think we would have that type of agreement in place if possible.
Absolutely.
I agree. John Tudor.
Judge, I think, like Tom said, this is something you'd feel like would normally happen, but it's good to have it in writing, and you have a mutual agreement that you're going to receive help and you're going to give help to somebody else in need. in these situations. Dustin, what all disaster help does this include? Can you name a few of the instances that this would include?
Sure. So definitely fire and rescue services are without a doubt. We could even emergency management services. So if we had to activate REOC and they weren't, we could have them supplement manpower into REOC. We do a lot of things very similar for reasons of these kinds. We're trained similarly, which allows that interaction. If we had a disaster where they weren't affected, they could come and support our emergency operations center. There's equipment, message boards, light towers, all those kind of things. You can probably imagine it. It can be requested, and not only to your point, Magistrate Tudor. I think that this is something that we kind of assume, and most of us, the emergency management director in Fayette County and I talk a lot, probably once every other week at least. And we would do anything for each other, but this also lays out some information on who can request it, how it's being, the processes of being it requested, things of that nature, which in turn actually helps me and her and our staff go through the right channels so that communication is done properly.
Thank you.
You bet.
Judge, to John's question there, and to Dustin's follow-up there, the page 3 of that attached document to that contract, if you will, it has a pretty good outline of those things: firefighters, emergency medical, physicians, nurses, mental health, emergency management, public works, law enforcement. I mean, that's a big gamut of folks that of our public works services that we can help someone if we have those services available. So that's good that we can do that if we can. We may be in the same boat at that point in time, who knows? But if we can, we want to help.
Absolutely. And no, for everybody's knowledge, this is not a have to respond. For anybody watching too, this is not like say that we have to send stuff or they have to send stuff. It is on the basis of availability and needs. And obviously, we have to take and focus on Madison County #1, and that's understood in that agreement, as Fayette County would, their #1 is Fayette County. But it looks at, as Magistrate Bodkin said, if we can assist, it allows for that to be done.
And it says that in the agreement. I read that in the agreement that, our citizens are at the top of the list. That's our first priority. And then, so that was good. And it's same in Fayette County, I'm sure. Yep. So great. Good conversation. Great discussion. Anything else? All right. We do have a motion and a second to approve resolution 20-126. If there is no further discussion, Clerk Barger, call the roll.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Bodkin,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Thanks,
Have a great
Dustin.
Thanksgiving if I don't see you.
Next, we have personnel in the road department. And we have Scott Shepherd on with us. Good morning, Scott. Good to have you.
Good morning. We had a interview committee made up of Willie Willis, Matt Grant, and myself, and we would like to recommend the hire of Shane Thornton, start date of November 30th, 2020, at the rate of $14 per hour.
I have a motion and a second. Or can I get a motion and a second, I should say? Roger.
I make that motion, Judge.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? John Tudor?
Second that, Judge.
All right. I have a motion second to hire Shane Norton as a full-time CDL driver, general labor, $14 an hour, start date 11/30/2020. Is there any discussion?
Judge, I'd just like to say I'm glad to see he's a CDL driver already, and we don't have to worry about training because we're going to need some CDL drivers coming up winter here pretty quick.
Scott, this gets us to, I mean, it doesn't get us to full staff, but it gets us to where we cover our snow routes. Is that correct?
That's correct. We
Yeah.
are not fully staffed, but we do now with this hire have enough to operate the snow removal as we did last year.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anything else? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Botkin,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thanks,
Thank you.
Scott. Appreciate it. Next, we have our judges report. Just got a few announcements. Citizens are encouraged to shop local this coming Saturday, November the 28th, during the Shop Small Business Saturday. If you are not comfortable with venturing out, contact your favorite small local business, and they may be able to work out delivery or other shipping options. Our businesses, due to COVID-19, are being impacted. So anything that we can do here locally to help our businesses, I know would be much appreciated. Richmond's Reverse Christmas Parade will be Friday, December 4th. It'll be from 5 until 10 p.m. at Lake Reba. Unfortunately, due to the virus, Berea's Christmas Parade has been canceled. Instead of the parade, the Berea Chamber of Commerce is hosting a decorating contest for Christmas 2020. Entry categories include churches, nonprofits, businesses, industries, and neighborhoods. For more information, please contact the Berea Chamber of Commerce. Our restrooms at all of our Madison County parks have been closed now for the winter season. We will be reopening in the spring of 2021. Please take due notice of the importance of wearing a mask when in the public, regardless of the situation. Social distancing at all times and good hand washing. All of us need to do our part to ebb the tide to help and do our part of the COVID-19 virus. Madison County courthouses and its related offices will be closed this coming Thursday and Friday, which is November the 26th and 27th. For the Thanksgiving holiday. Our offices will reopen on Monday, November the 30th at 8 a.m. Next, we have comments from magistrates. We'll go with John Tudor.
Okay, Judge. First of all, I just want to tell everybody to have a happy Thanksgiving and be thankful for our blessings. We have so many here in Madison County. We're under a stressful situation with the COVID right now, and it's hard to get together as families and friends. But if you do, please follow the guidelines, use masks, and try to stay apart. And let's try to hurry up and get this COVID thing under control. And I think we can do that through our restrictions and our guidelines that we have set in place, along with the pharmaceutical companies trying to get this vaccine out as soon as possible. And I think this is going to happen within the next couple of months. It may be 6 months before we have it available for everyone, but we're going to get through this. We're going to come out on the other side better. Just be thankful for your family and your friends, everything that we experience and share here in Madison County, and be thankful for God and our country. And I just want to say, have a happy Thanksgiving. We've got most of our blacktop done here in Madison County now, and I think we're through for the winter. So I had another road done this past week. It looks really good, and I appreciate that. Thank you, Judge, and all the road department and the state for Allen Company for doing the blacktopping. Just happy Thanksgiving and stay safe.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Roger? Hit your mute button, Roger.
Sorry about that, Judge.
That's all right.
First, I want to inform everybody that Madison County as a whole as far as the help that we have through the government, our employees, they're really dedicated no matter what the times are or how good or how bad it is. In the good times, they're okay, and in the bad times, they step up and do what they need to do. A lot of us, is just like we are right now, having to work from home, but it still gets done. And to the public out there, it's going on just like regular, even though there's a lot of things that had to change in the background to get it done, but we get it done. And I appreciate all of them for their dedicated service. Like John was talking about, wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I know it's trying times, but you have to maybe cut down the number of people that you're going to have for a dinner or something. But most people is going to be understandable and break up into small groups like they ask us to. My family is going to be a lot smaller here this year than we generally would have just because of that. And it's all because of the safety of our health. Glad to get the Jolly Ridge Road blacktopped. It looked good. I appreciate the road department for taking care of that. That's about all I got, Judge. Thanks, Roger. Appreciate you. Oh, I want to relieve the rest of my time to our clerk. I think he probably has a lot to say, don't he? Yeah, I'm not going to forget him. I'm not going to forget him this time. He made me feel bad last meeting, like he hadn't been doing anything, you know. Oh, yeah. Forget about the county clerk, you know. So I'd say he's got a lot of pages. Yeah. So Tom Bakken.
And just a couple of things, Judge. We also in the 4th District have our blacktop that we're going to get finished. That was put down over on Menelus. And if everyone remembers, we ran out of money over there last year. And so we got the funds to finish that up this year. Congleton, we finished it. That done. We may or may not do striping over there. And they also finished a piece over on Possum Kingdom in between Larry and my district. We sort of share that area. But anyway, that was all finished and taken care of. The state and Brandon, they're doing a really good job on cutting back our roadways right now, those state highways. They have been over on 421 out in that side of the county. I talked to Brandon there 2 weeks ago, and he told me that they would be heading down toward 595, Walt Meadow, 52, 876 are some areas where they're pretty grown up over there, but they're doing a really good job over there. Let's just hope that the mower stays together there that they're using to do that with, because they're doing a bang up job right now. And we want to thank them for that as well. The thing that I have left to do is that the guardrail over at CSX on Menelus, they have yet to put that back up yet, but it is cleared up and ready for the state now to go back in there and do that with they have contractors that do that. But we're ready for them over there to get that back up, hopefully for winter. We don't want anybody going over that side there. It's a pretty bad place. I would just like to say, Judge, that like the rest of the magistrates, that we want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. We ask that you just remember our military personnel and our first responders. On Thanksgiving Day, they'll be working. And so just keep them in your prayers when your families are getting together, and just, we've got a lot to be thankful for in this country. And we just ask you just to remember those folks. That's all I have. If anyone needs me, Judge, they can reach me at 200-9765.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Tom. We'll move to our clerk, Kenny Barger.
Yeah, that election seems like ancient history, since it's only been 2 weeks and there's been so much going on.
Don't be downplaying it now.
Don't
be downplaying it now.
But I got more pertinent news for what's coming. But yeah, we had the election went off without a hitch. Everything went smoothly. I tickled to death with the folks here I work with and everybody that volunteered they get paid, but it's basically volunteering to work early voting, election day. Vote by mail went great. We had a recanvass in the city commission race, and it changed it on the 4th and 5th spots. It changed it 3 votes in favor of the 5th spot, so there was no change there. and everything has been sent up and certified and put to bed. So now we're getting ready, looking at our equipment, looking at getting everything straightened out, and because we've got a dead year coming up next year, so a lot of times to make improvements and make it even better than what it was. What I really want to talk about is starting Monday, November 30th, we are going back to close to the public for renewals and simple transactions. That'll all be done, needs to be done by phone, by mail, or online. And I'll go over that in a second. We're going back to appointments for transfers, marriage license, passports. Our deed room is remaining open. If you need to come in and search, you can. That hasn't been a problem with capacity. But considering the direction this thing's headed, we have really, I feel like, pushed our luck being open to the public, especially having 19,000 people come through our two offices in 3 weeks to vote. I don't know why we haven't been struck with everybody here catching the virus. It's not because better be lucky than good, I guess. So I feel like if we don't make this move, it's not going to be, we're also going to half and half staff. That's why we're doing the changes we're making. So we're going to split up. I feel like if we don't make this move, we're going to have 2 or 3 people show up positive, and then the office will be closed basically for 2 weeks instead of slowing down for the next 2 or 3 weeks to see where we are. We're one of the few offices in the state that has remained open to the public like we have. There's several offices in the state that have not opened back up to the public since March. So we've done all we could to serve as much as we can, but at this point, I think it's going to, in the long run, going to hurt the public in being able to get things done. Every day I get 4 or 5 emails from clerks' offices that are closed because they've got a positive test. Estill County's closed right now. Closed the 1st of December completely. So we can't do that here in Madison County. That would put us so far behind that we would probably, it'd take us months to get caught up. So we've got to keep moving and keep going forward with taking care of the business, but we've also got to do it the safest manner possible. And I think that's what this is. So if you've got a renewal that needs to be done, you can call us here, 624-859-624-4703. Our website is madisoncountyclerk.us. All the information will be put on there today about how to renew online, how to renew over the phone, or do it by mail. We're transitioning the ballot drop box here at the courthouse into a drop-off box for renewals. We'll have envelopes on there for the information. And then drive.ky.gov is another website. We link to it, but you can go directly to that website and renew. But if you've got some kind of question, some kind of problem, delinquent taxes, something like that, to keep your renewing online, call us. We can do it over the phone too. I think that covers. Oh, and the Berea office will be closed. We can't do this split and have both offices open. So we're closing the Berea office. Those people will be coming up here and working, so we can have the 2 split shifts, one working a week, one off a week.
Thank you, Kenny.
Anybody got any questions on that? I hate that. That's news I don't want to deliver. I want to get this. I want to take care of everybody. Get everything, whatever business they've got here. I want to get it done, get it over with. They can move on with their lives. What I just announced makes things a whole lot more complicated to understand that. But again, I think if we don't do something, we're going to be closed for 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Kenny, I have a question.
Yep.
You said the deed vault was open to do title searches because you hadn't had capacity issues. If people have recordings to submit, deeds they're recording, mortgages, releases, or do they walk in and do that, or do you?
You're going to walk the plank again.
Okay.
We got the 2 boards between the sidewalk and the window. We'll be dropping off at the window there. Dealers will be coming in and dropping off, but all the deed room stuff will be dropped off the window, and we'll be open and processing just like we always have.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Any questions for Kenny? All right, thanks, Kenny. Thanks for what you did. You all did an outstanding job on the election, so kudos. Brooke, do you have anything to add? It's good to have you on today. It's good to see your smiling face.
Good to be here, Judge. Good to see you. I don't have anything to add.
Thank you. All right, comments from department heads. Any department heads need to address the court today? Seeing none. Is Glenna still on? Glenna, I've got on my court or on my agenda that the CSEP advance payment request. Was that included in our resolution earlier, or does this need to be a separate?
If you want to go ahead and still do pay transfers and claims, and that's the only claim we have on there.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
would work.
All right. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Next, then it will be to pay this claim and approve any kind of transfer here. You all saw that in your packet. It was a CSEP payment request. So I need a motion and a second to pay this claim, approve the transfer. Roger Barger.
So move.
Tom Bakken.
Second, Judge.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, call the roll, please.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Buckin,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Our next meeting will be December the 15th, 2020. It'll be right back here on Zoom. Again, our next meeting will be December the 15th, 2020. That will put us about 3 weeks in between this court and our next court. And then we always just have the one court due to the holidays in December. So that'll be December 15th, 2020. I need a motion and a second to adjourn. John Tudor?
Make a motion to adjourn, Judge.
Roger?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Master Tudor,
Yes.
Master Buckin,
Yes.
Master Barger,
Yes.
Judge Taylor.
Yes. Thank everybody that participated in our court today. God bless you, and everybody have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving and be safe. Bye-bye.